Welcome to David Brawn, who's celebrating 30 years of publishing Agatha Christie and charged with respecting her literary legacy. David, it's lovely to meet you. Well, how did you first meet Agatha?
Thank you. I first met Agatha Christie as a teenager. I was on holiday in Greece. I had run out of books to read, and my mother suggested that Agatha Christie might be something to read because there was a small bookshop in the hotel with these wire spinners with paperbacks on them. Most of them were horrendous, sort of glamour things like Harold Robbins, but there were quite a lot of Agatha Christie's. And in fact, I still have 4 or 5 paperbacks from that holiday with Greek price stamps on the front cover. From that moment on, I was a teenage Agatha Christie fan, as probably everyone of my generation was. A little bit later, in 1995, I was offered the job of being Agatha Christie's publisher at HarperCollins. Because I remembered being such a fan as a teenager, I jumped at the chance. I thought that'll do for a couple of years. And here I am, 30 years later, still in the same job.
Well, obviously you stuck with it. 30 years is a long time to stay with Agatha Christie. What's kept you with her?
Agatha Christie was so prolific. She wrote so many books, and all of them successful and popular worldwide. I'm very fortunate in that the appetite for her work, combined with flexibility of publishers, means that there's always something to do. I mean, I'm amazed, frankly, that after so many years, we can still every year think of new ways to present and represent Agatha Christie's books to a reading public. And of course, new generations come through all the time. And we put new covers on the books, we come up with new marketing ideas, we even commission books about Agatha Christie. And now, actually, we have writers writing Poirot and Miss Marple stories. So there's always something new to add to that canon of work.
What is it, do you think, that keeps her so enduring, that her work just lasts across the generations? Because some are so steeped in the time that she was living in.
Well, it is pretty remarkable to read some of the earliest books, which are now 100 years old. And in my job, I've published a lot of other crime writers from those early days. And frankly, none of them wrote as well as Agatha Christie did. You would not know you're reading vintage fiction. She wrote very economically, used very clever language that really didn't put anyone off. And in the way that a lot of books of that era feel quite dated, Agatha's actually quite remarkably don't. And they have therefore survived into the modern day.
And respecting her legacy is one of the key elements of your job. How difficult has that been with the opening up of all manner of media, whether it be social, whether it be YouTube? You know, all these things have come in the time that you've been working with her work.
Well, in the old days, there were hardbacks and there were paperbacks. And now we have multiple formats in which to share the stories that Agatha and any other author has written. And the rise of ebooks and audiobooks, which are hugely popular, have actually expanded the readership for the books themselves. There is no excuse not to be reading an Agatha Christie book in some format. And of course, her work survives and endures on film and television as well. So all of that added activity and merchandise, jigsaws, and all sorts of things that now celebrate her work that certainly weren't around 30 years ago, really keep her in the public eye and appealing to a really broad age range.
So what's next then? Have you exhausted all the opportunities or the different ways that you can market or publish her?
I'm not sure I'd be standing here if I had exhausted all the opportunities. I'm very excited to be publishing a new Poirot book next month with Sophie Hannah called The Last Death of the Year. It's a New Year's Eve mystery. We have Lucy Foley writing the first ever Miss Marple novel, written by someone other than Agatha Christie herself. That will be published in a year's time. And it will be the 50th anniversary, actually, of Sleeping Murder, which was Agatha Christie's own last Miss Marple novel. And those anniversaries, which come up every year, are also a chance to celebrate and to republish her books.
And do you still enjoy them?
Oh, I still go back to Agatha Christie's works and reread them quite regularly. There are a lot of them. I found as I get older, a slightly failing memory is actually an advantage because I can start again and not remember who done it. And so I'm just as surprised as ever I was. In that way, the books are really good to revisit. Some of them, in fact, even if you do know who done it, you read them again and you get a completely different take because then you can see the clues that she has laid in front of you and that actually you probably missed first time.
Do you have a favourite?
I have lots of Agatha Christie favourites, depending on quite often which one I've just read. I don't think it's a surprise that And Then There Were None, Murder on the Orient Express, and The Murder of Roger Ackroyd are the titles that most people remember. And The Murder of Roger Ackroyd actually will be 100 years old in 2026. It was the first book published by Collins, which now exists as HarperCollins, and we'll be putting a lot of energy into celebrating that centenary when we come to it next year. The Agatha Christie Festival is a real treat to come and visit. It's become an annual event over the last sort of 15 years, I suppose, and it has got bigger and more exciting every year. It's lovely to come and meet authors and experts who come and talk and share their own thoughts and feelings about Agatha Christie. It's a rich world to explore, and every year there are new topics to hear about, and that's always very exciting. But Agatha being so prolific and such a major name in literature is one of very few people who have their own literary festival, and long may it continue.
David Brawn, thank you.